Maya Reyes had learned early in life that sometimes the loudest rooms were the ones where people waited for you to fail. That truth echoed in her bones the moment she stepped into the military mess hall. Its metal tables arranged in strict rows, its fluorescent lights buzzing, and its 477 soldiers falling into sudden silence as soon as they saw her. Conversations halted mid-sentence. Forks hovered over plates. Someone coughed, the sound painfully sharp in the quiet. She ignored all of it. She had practice ignoring things. Her boots tapped on the concrete floor as she moved through the center aisle, posture straight, chin lifted, eyes steady. She wasn't arrogant. She wasn't timid. She was simply present, and that alone seemed to unsettle them. The first woman invited to train with this elite special operations group, an experiment to some, an inconvenience to others, and a threat to a few. She could feel the weight of their unspoken thoughts pressing at her from every angle, but she stayed calm, focused. She grabbed a tray, moved to the only empty seat left, and sat. The hush lingered. 477 sets of eyes tracked her every move as she sliced into her food. She didn't look up. She didn't shrink. She just existed, and for some reason, that made the room tense. A large shadow fell across her table. Reyes. She didn't flinch. She had known he would show up before he actually did. Sergeant Cole Maddox. The base's pride. The guy whose name hovered on every leaderboard. Fastest runner, strongest lifter, sharpest shooter. Broad shoulders, arms like steel cables, a walk that radiated confidence. Or dominance, depending on the angle. He didn't respect her, and he didn't pretend to. She set down her fork slowly. Sergeant Maddox, you're in my seat. She glanced at the empty chair across from her, then at the rest of the hall filled with open spots. Didn't realize you owned this one. His jaw tightened. Think you're funny? No. Hungry. A couple of soldiers snorted under their breath. Maddox took a step closer, towering over her. You don't belong here, Reyes. There it was, the statement everyone else was thinking but no one else dared to say out loud. She finally lifted her eyes and met his. I belong wherever I earn my place. The room inhaled at the same time Maddox shoved her shoulder. Not a playful push, not an accidental bump, but a deliberate attempt to provoke her, embarrass her, rattle her. Her tray clattered onto the floor. Metal echoed. Food splattered. Every soldier froze. Some expected her to back down. Others expected her to explode. She did neither. Maya rose slowly, brushing a fleck of gravy from her sleeve, her movements controlled and intentional. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't angry. She wasn't even surprised. Sergeant, she said quietly, I'm not here to fight you. Maddox scoffed, leaning in. Maybe you should be. You won't last long otherwise. Maya didn't argue. She simply reached down, picked up the fallen tray, and carried it to the trash. When she walked back to her seat, she didn't go around him. She went past him, straight past him, a soft but unmistakable refusal to be intimidated. Maddox didn't follow. Not yet. The rest of the soldiers exchanged looks, confusion, curiosity, a touch of respect that hadn't been there before. Maya didn't notice, or pretended not to. She just moved on with her day. But the moment wasn't over. Not even close. The afternoon sun burned hot against the rigid training yard. Soldiers tightened straps, stretched muscles, and checked gear for the upcoming relay, one of the toughest physical challenges they ran. A sandbag relay through obstacle rigs, rope climbs, balance beams, mud pits, and sprints. 50 pounds per soldier. The point wasn't strength. It was coordination, unity, timing. As fate or luck or cosmic irony would have it, Maya and Maddox landed on the same four-person team. Nobody said anything out loud, but the tension was practically visible, like heat rising off the pavement. Maya tied her hair back, rolled her shoulders, and took her position. The instructor blew the whistle. They launched into motion. Mud splashed beneath boots. Shouts echoed. Sandbags thudded against muscle and bone. Maya drove forward through the tire run, quick steps, controlled breaths. The sandbag's weight settled into her shoulder, but she'd carried heavier. She'd survived harder. Maddox kept pace beside her, breathing hard but steady. His movements were sharp, forceful, like he was trying to outrun something inside himself. At the climbing wall, his bad step happened so fast that most people didn't understand what they had seen. A simple misplacement of weight. A slip. The sandbag slid from his shoulder. It struck his knee as he tried to catch it. Nothing dramatic, nothing gory, but enough to make him stumble and grunt in pain. Enough to slow him. Their team began to fall behind. Go, he growled at them. Leave me, I'll catch up. But he couldn't, not with the way he was limping. And Maya knew it. She jogged back toward him. He glared at her. I said go. She knelt beside him. We don't leave each other behind. That's not how this works. It's how I work. She held out her hand for his sandbag. His eyes widened. Reyes, no, you'll tear something. That's not. Trust me. The phrase sliced clean through his pride. Slowly, hesitating, fighting himself, he let her take it. The extra 50 pounds nearly drove her to her knees. Fire tore down her spine. Her breath hitched. Her arms trembled. But she locked her jaw, steadied her stance, and rose. 2 sandbags. 1 person. The entire training yard seemed to hold its breath. She didn't ask for help. She didn't wait for applause. She moved. Step, step, step. Each one felt like she was dragging a mountain behind her. Her muscles screamed. Her lungs burned. But she didn't stop. Maddox limped after her, stunned, speechless, humbled. Their teammates sensed what was happening and rallied, clearing obstacles faster, adjusting pace, covering where Maya couldn't. They weren't competing anymore. They were cooperating. For the first time all day, the unit looked like a unit. By the final sprint, Maya's vision blurred. Her shoulders felt bruised from the inside out. She could hear her heartbeat in her ears. But she pushed. Harder. Again. And again. She crossed the finish line and dropped the sandbags, collapsing to her knees. The stopwatch beeped, and the instructor shouted, "New course record. 14 seconds faster than the previous best." Silence. Then disbelief. Then admiration. Maya didn't lift her head. She didn't need to. She could feel the shift in the air. It was subtle, but real. Something between fear and judgment cracked open and made room for something better. Maddox limped to her side. He knelt too, breath uneven. Reyes. She looked up. You should have left me, he said. For the first time, there was no arrogance in his voice. Only honesty. I don't leave people, she said. His throat worked as he swallowed. Why? After how I treated you. Because how you treated me is about you, she said gently. How I respond is about me. His eyes shone in a way she hadn't expected. That was the moment he changed. That was the moment everything changed. The rest of the unit felt the change before Maddox ever spoke about it out loud. Soldiers who once avoided Maya now gravitated toward her. They asked questions, trained beside her, learned from her, not because she outperformed them, but because she elevated them. She became the teammate people wanted to succeed beside, not the one they wanted to defeat. Maddox changed even more quickly. He didn't announce it. He didn't explain it. He just acted differently. He stood beside her instead of in her way. He corrected soldiers who made snide comments. He trained harder, not out of competition, but out of commitment. One night, in the quiet of the base gym, he approached her while she iced her shoulder. He hesitated before speaking. I need to apologize, he said. She didn't look up. You don't owe me anything. I owe you the truth, he said softly. You scared me. She blinked, thrown by the admission. You didn't scare me physically, he continued. You scared me because you made me wonder if strength meant something bigger than what I thought it was. Maya didn't answer right away. He pressed on. I didn't shove you to embarrass you. I shoved you because I didn't want to face the fact that you might be stronger than me in ways I couldn't understand. She set the ice pack down. Strength isn't one thing, she said. It's character. It's resilience. It's kindness. And yeah, it's physical too. But it's never just one thing. He nodded slowly. You changed how I see things. You changed too, she said. For the better, he replied. She didn't disagree. Over the next weeks, kindness became a quiet contagion among the unit. Not softness, not weakness, kindness rooted in respect, discipline, and shared purpose. When someone fell behind, another soldier reached back. When tensions rose, someone diffused them with patience. When a recruit struggled, the group adjusted rather than isolating him. The shift wasn't a miracle. It wasn't instant. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it started with a single moment of compassion in a crowded mess hall. One afternoon, a young recruit named Thompson overheated during a run and collapsed in the dirt. Maya sprinted to him first, rolling him onto his side, checking his breathing, loosening his collar. Maddox arrived seconds later, calling for medics while another soldier shielded Thompson from the sun with his jacket. The same men who once ignored signs of weakness now rallied around it. They moved Thompson into shade, helped him sip water, monitored his pulse until help arrived. When he murmured, "Thanks, all of you," Maya squeezed his shoulder gently. "We've got you. That's how this team works." Maddox looked at her with pride. Not the arrogant kind, but the kind built on respect. "You did this," he whispered. "We did it," she said. But he shook his head. "You lit the spark." She didn't argue, not because she agreed, but because some truths don't need to be spoken to be understood. Graduation came with crisp uniforms and a sky streaked with gold from the rising sun. 477 soldiers stood in perfect formation, posture sharp, hearts steady. When Maya's name was called, she stepped forward with strength and grace. She didn't smile, she didn't cry, she simply walked. Silence stretched. Then one pair of hands began to clap. Maddox. Slow, firm, deliberate. Others joined. Then more. Then the whole field. 477 soldiers applauding the woman who had walked into their world as an outsider and walked out as someone who had changed it. Maya inhaled deeply, the sound filling her chest with warmth. She didn't feel victorious. She felt full. Of gratitude. Of purpose. Of hope. Because the truth wasn't that she proved she belonged. The truth was that she helped create a place where everyone could. Kindness had done that. Strength of character had done that. Humanity had done that. As the applause rolled over her like sunlight, she understood something she would carry for the rest of her life. Real strength isn't the force that pushes others down. Real strength is the courage that lifts them up. And sometimes, the most powerful way to know your place is to build one where everyone feels they belong.